Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all had an amazing New Year's. It is 2024 now and we are gonna get to work. So today I'm gonna be talking about a trade I took, about what was going on through my mind, why we took this trade, and essentially what happened. So it's crazy because this trade that we took today, we did take a short. However, later on, we actually ended up targeting buy-side liquidity, but we still profited from this trade. And it's kind of cool because we're trading more session-based. So seeing this trade play out, having this winning trade under our belts on January 2024, the second day of the year, is pretty great feeling. And it's crazy to see like how we could still manage profitability even when the market is not necessarily trending. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the trade, talk about why I took the trade, and yeah, let's get to work. So we're going to start on the daily time frame. All right, so we have been having this really bullish move for the past couple of months. And we do have some bullish objectives at the highs here. However, I saw that we were kind of trading down for the last couple of days and we didn't take out this high and we were kind of selling short. So I wanted to see that momentum continue into this daily fair value gap here, take out these daily lows, even trade into this previous new week opening gap. So I wanted to see more sells happen and I was looking for more information to see if those sells could potentially happen. So we're gonna drop down to the 1 hour time frame now. Perfect. Now on the 1 hour time frame this morning, I was kind of looking, so we obviously were closed yesterday due to New Year's Day, but I was watching to see, hey, what is happening in price? What are we looking at? So we had this new week opening gap this week right here. We traded higher and then we came up into this 1 hour order block right here. I'll actually mark that out so you guys can see that. So this would be a bearish 1 hour order block. I like to do my order blocks in green. As we can see, the market traded down. We had that displacement move after taking out buy-side liquidity over here, displacement move. On Friday, traded back higher, had this new week opening gap right here, came back up, filled in this 1 hour fair value gap, but also traded to that low of the bullish 1 hour order block. And then we see displacement happen again, breaking market structure, breaking this low, filling in this new week opening gap. So I wasn't too concerned about reaching for that new week opening gap right away because we did fill it in. We could potentially see the market trade higher and that would be an area I'd look for. We also had this large opening range gap, but I'll kind of talk a little bit about why I wasn't expecting the market to fill that in this morning. And then we had this small 1 hour fair value gap down here. I do have it marked out, so just pay attention to that because this is something that I was using to get into my trade for a short this morning. So let's drop down to the 15-minute time frame. Perfect. Again, we have another kind of 15-minute order block here. I'll mark that out again. We can see that we came up into the order block and about the halfway point, just below the halfway point at the 9:30 a.m. open before moving down again. We traded back higher. We never really took out this high right here, so I was kind of expecting the market to continue to move lower. Plus, the bodies were respecting the 1 hour fair value gap and this 15-minute fair value gap here too. We actually can see a respect of both of those areas. And because of this, we decided to go short in the markets today. I like to use my purple boxes for fair value gaps. So again, we can see the bodies are respecting this level. We even came up to halfway point of that fair value gap right there. So seeing all of this was like, okay, we want to see the market move lower. Now what I mean by, hey, we're trading kind of session based, we can see the market didn't actually move much lower. We did take out this low, which was my objective, but the market didn't move much lower after that. Like we didn't trade into this new week opening gap before moving higher, taking out this buy side liquidity and trading more into this opening range gap. So again, we don't have to be right necessarily about the daily direction, but we do want to have some sort of understanding of where the market's going to go for our session. So because I figured we would want to go lower, that was my bias today, was trading lower. And the fact we were respecting that 1 hour fair value gap, the 15-minute fair value gap, traded into that 15-minute order block, but then respected the halfway point, the consequent encroachment of this 15-minute fair value gap. These were all signs that, hey, I want to see shorts. So let's go down to the 5-minute. Perfect. So on the 5-minute, we can see there wasn't too much action this morning, but the fact that we wanted to see lower pricing, I was kind of looking for an opportunity to get in for a short. I did see this 5-minute fair value gap, but because we were going lower and we have these higher time frames supporting our decision to go lower, we have this order block being respected and we have these fair value gaps being respected on the higher time frame. I was watching this fair value gap, but I wasn't entering a buy off of this fair value gap. I actually wanted to see this 5-minute fair value gap turn into a inversion fair value gap. So let's drop down to the 1-minute time frame here. Perfect. So my trade was actually this 1-minute fair value gap right here. I was aiming for a easy target, so I just wanted to see these lows taken out this morning. I wanted like an easy run, something that could happen really easily, and these lows is what I was targeting. The fact that we did trade below these lows before moving higher, it's kind of crazy to see that happen. Of course, I did want the market to move lower, but seeing it take out these lows was perfect. That's all we needed for our trade today. So with everything in confluence, we used this 1-minute fair value gap to get into the trade. We did see a little bit of a pullback, but we never broke this high right here, which was what created the 1-minute fair value gap. So seeing that, we were like, okay, we're probably still going to go lower. And then we just had to kind of wait for our objective to be reached. So this was a pretty nice trade considering there wasn't too much crazy movement. We still have the fundamentals. We had this short-term break in market structure right here. Right there. As you can see, I'll make it red so it's easier to see. We have this low right here. We have that break in market structure right here. We came back up. We have this displacement run down while breaking that low, which is break in market structure, came back up into that 1-minute fair value gap before trading lower and into these lows right here. So we still have the fundamentals. We still have displacement taking place. We still have our higher time frame analysis. We still have the 1-minute fair value gap. We're still entering inside of our time frame, which is 10 to 11 a.m. So this trade was a good setup, but it's crazy to see how we did trade below these lows slightly, like by 1 point, like a half a point, before ultimately moving higher and now into the buy side liquidity. And of course, more into the opening range gap. So yeah, it was a nice little short-term trade. We are trading the morning session, so we were looking for that easy draw on liquidity, which was those lows. Crazy to see how beautiful it happened, and then we moved higher. And that's kind of what I'm learning too, is like, hey, we're trading sessions. We don't have to trade the daily targets, because we are just trying to get in and out with the easiest low-hanging fruit trade. So for me, I think this was a good trade. Yes, it's awesome that it hit profitability. Yes, I'm super excited that it's the first trade that we took of the year. It's kind of setting the tone. But I mean, this trade, as simple as it is, as short term as it is, it's still a good trade. So what can I say? I hope you guys learned something from this video. Again, I was using higher time frame analysis before I got into this short. I was looking for that 5-minute fair value gap to be turned into an inversion fair value gap, and we did. We actually closed below it. So I was like, okay, we're probably gonna hit these lows. So I held on to the trade. We actually traded back into that 5-minute inversion fair value gap before slowly trickling down. I wanted to see this 1-minute fair value gap respected because we did have some pullback before ultimately hitting our target. We did trade back up into this 1-minute fair value gap before taking out those lows. And then after those lows were taken out, we can see the market kind of trickling higher. Had this sort of displacement run right here, came back down into this 1-minute fair value gap. Breaking market structure right here, taking out that swing high, this swing high, came back down a little bit further, taking out short-term sell-side liquidity before ultimately moving higher into the buy-side liquidity that we have marked out. So kind of playing both sides of the market today. It's kind of cool to see, but again, I'm just happy we were able to enter into our trade. We actually got into our trade. We're using micro contracts for now until we can pass that second top step challenge. We're kind of taking it slow, getting into the trades we see, being okay with wins, being okay with lessons. We just want to get into our trade setups and kind of just get a feel for how we trade. So I hope you learned something from this video. Let me know in the comments if there's something you want me to talk about. Let me know if you traded today, what your trade looked like. I love connecting with you guys. So thank you again so much for being here. And I'm excited to see you all in the next one. So bye for now.